Hello and welcome to this session. I'll be walking us through an easy way to apply to study at education institutions in South Africa on the service scholarcloud.co.za. On visiting the site, we can see three main options. Namely, we can choose a place to study at, we can choose a degree program to study, or we can choose to apply. If you are visiting the site on a cell phone, the interface has the same elements, just slightly differently arranged, as we can see here. If we look under the Apply for Placement section, you can see that the system is inviting us to select a university to study at, and then it's inviting us to choose a degree program to study. So let's go ahead and do that. Clicking up here under Choose Your University or College, you can see some of the institutions in South Africa, and we can filter this list here. So if we just start typing in here, it's going to filter the list for us. So let's choose some of the universities. Let's unfilter and let's just choose some of these. And by the way, the images here don't really mean anything. It just adds some visual interest. These are not images from the institutions or anything like that. So we can choose as many institutions as we want. And we do that just by clicking on an institution badge. And if we want to remove it from our list, you can see a list building up here. If you want to remove something from a list, you just click on it again and it's removed from your selection list. So that's how we can choose the universities that we want to study at. If we click back here, it's going to close the section again, and it shows us what we've selected so far. And now let's choose our studies. So you've got a long list of degree programs here, and most institutions will support some subset of these groups of degree programs. And of course, we can filter this list again. So if I was interested in the engineering programs, for example, then I'll choose, I'll type a search string here, and then we can select some of these degree programs. And then let's say, in addition to this, I was also interested in computers. So I just type that in, I filter that, and then I can select these programs as well. So now these are the institutions I'm interested in studying at, and these are the degree programs I'm interested in studying. And now I want to go ahead and apply to be placed in these institutions and programs. So to apply for placement, we have to provide our name and email address, and the universities will use this information to connect with us. So just entering my name here and my email address. And I'm entering the password here because the system is going to create an account for us. We don't have to go through lots of steps. We just enter the values here. So we enter our email address and we choose a password here. So it will create an account as part of this process. And we would use that account. So we want to remember this password. So we want to use this account to log back in to see if the universities have responded to us, or perhaps we want to go ahead and make changes to our selections. So anyway, we do that, we click apply, and then the system has gone ahead and saved our interests on the database. And now it's taken us to our application profile. And by the way, if you click on that, you can still see at the bottom, you can make changes to your selections here. Anyway, looking into the profile, you can see a little card here, and this is something like what the universities will see when they are considering our application. And what we want to do as part of this, what we want to include here are our academic records. So you can see those are blank at the moment. So let's say we want to enter that in our high school years for maths in grade 12 in, let's say, 2021, and this was done on higher grade. Let's say we achieved a mark of 95%. So we click here, add to my records, and you can see that's been added to our records there. And we can go ahead and add our grades for all the subjects that we studied at school. So we enter this and you can add all your records in there. And of course, the more complete your application, the better it is for you, the higher the chance of success with the institution. In addition to basic data like grades, we can also describe ourselves a bit better here. So we want to improve our chances of success of being accepted at an institution. So we want to tell the universities about ourselves. We want to tell them our interests in our studies. We want to describe any achievements and things we are proud of. So we would explain that here. So I am very interested in chemical engineering. Well, this would be an extremely bland description. I'm sure you can do a much better job of telling a university about yourself. So we can say, save that. And then it also appears here in this little card. So all our details are captured here, and we can, if we've made any changes, so let's say we've gone and changed what we are interested in, we must be sure to click here on save or update the application. Right, so that's our application, which is now recorded on the system, and universities can go ahead and start replying to us. And to see that, let's refresh the page and log back in. So let's think about the situation that we've made our application and a couple of days have passed and we want to know whether anyone has responded as yet. So let's just refresh the page. Okay, and now we'll want to log back in. So of course, the way we created our account was implicit. It happened while we were creating our, while we were doing that example. So now to log in with the account we've created, we click on my account and we enter our details. So logging in here, now we can see under our application profile, one of the universities has responded to us. So here under application status, we'll get feedback from all the institutions that we've applied to. So if an institution has not given any feedback as yet, if they have not reviewed the application as yet, then it won't appear here. But if any institution has reviewed the application and wishes to communicate with you, then it will appear here. So this shows that when I made my application to DUT, they are still reviewing my chemical engineering interest. They don't have mechanical engineering. By the way, that's not true. At DUT, they definitely have mechanical engineering, but just in this example, it's saying this. And then here, they did not accept me for computer engineering. They provisionally accepted me in electronic engineering, and they are fully accepting me for civil engineering. So here's where you can get feedback. And that's if the institution chooses to communicate with you in this way. An institution might instead choose to communicate with you directly. Because remember, when you created your profile, you supplied your email address. And by the way, be sure to activate your account. So after you've submitted your application, you'll get an email from us asking you to activate your account. So you just go ahead and click on the activation link as you normally do when creating an account on any service. You can see here that you can still go ahead and edit your academic records. And by the way, I'm using a different account here from the example. So earlier I had used a different email address. But anyway, you can go ahead. If you click on any of these entries, then it loads up that entry and you can edit that entry. You can remove it from your records. Let's say you made an error. So you want to remove a record and then you can update it and then add it to your records. You can also change your description here. So the About Me section, you can change that and you click Save My Description. And then if you want to change to whom you are applying for your studies, then you can make the changes here. So you'll find it's loaded up those previous selections. So you can uncheck and recheck and whatever you like. And then you can go ahead and you can save your application again. So that's it. That's all the service is. Hopefully you find this fairly easy to use, and that it's a valuable service in terms of connecting with academic institutions. Thanks for listening.